Alrighty. So the summer mission trip is for high school and middle school mission trip to Alamosa, Colorado, and it's going to be July 12th through the 17th. That's so far away, but we had to plan ahead because it's the busiest week for this place. So we had to go ahead and get on board now, and so I'll tell you more about it. All right. So that's the company that we've chosen to work with to go on a mission trip to make things a lot easier for us. And we chose to go for much prayer and consideration to go to the San Luis Valley in Alamosa. This is in Colorado, so it's a 5.5-hour drive, but we're going to say it's 6.5 because I know we're going to stop. But San Luis Valley is with one of the worst unemployment rates in Colorado. It's rural poverty, and is felt throughout the valley. The median income for the household in the town was $14,000, and the median income for family was $20,000. About 29.9% of the families and 34.3% of the family population were below the poverty line, including 41% of these under the age of 18. So 21% of these are over 65. So it's an area and a region that needs help, and it's in our backyard. The purpose and focus of our trip is to enrich the youth's exposure to those less fortunate in a safe way with the feeling of helping rather than helplessness. So Matthew 22:37-40 states, "Teacher, which is the great commandment in the law?" And Jesus said to him, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets." So with each person that comes means a different personality to enhance the trip and bring their own gifts and talents. So each person that God has chosen to go on this trip is so important for their individual strengths. We all make up the body of Christ. And Youth Works, the way it works is it's a total of 65 participants. So St. John will be joining with other youth and leaders to make the total of 65. And it's already going fast as far as that number of 65 is down. I mean, it's filling up. There's lots of other groups already signing up for that week. So that makes it fun for the youth because they get to intermingle with other youth, but yet our group stays together, but still mingling with others. So to say that the middle schoolers and high schoolers and leaders will get something out of this trip is an understatement. Going to Alamosa to serve will impact everyone's life forever. 1 Corinthians 15:49 states, "Therefore, my beloved brother, be steadfast, immovable, always bounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that your labor is not in vain." This trip will help create an empathy and an humbleness that will reach into all areas of the participants' lives. Romans 12:15 states, "Rejoice with those who rejoice and weep with those who weep. Be of the same mind toward one another. Do not set your mind on high things, but associate with the humble." This trip to Alamosa will bring a sense of accomplishment and confidence from trying new things and experiencing new adventures. When we learn to pray and ask God to help us on this trip, He will help our trepidation. 1 Chronicles 28:20 states, "Be strong and of good courage, and do it. Do not fear nor be dismayed, for the Lord God, my God, will be with you. He will not leave you nor forsake you until you have finished all the work for the service of the house of the Lord." This I've experienced firsthand on my trips to Africa. I go to places that are not very safe. I'd lie to you all and say, "Oh, it's fine." I was called upon by God to do these past trips. I pray the whole time to God to be with me. and I experienced the gift of no fear. He gives me a peace to do his work. And I feel 100% safe with God. So that is like a miracle, really. And that's a gift God gives you when you do his work. And so the kids on this trip will get to experience that. A trip like this can create deep bonds of friendship with the group. This will help the group feel like they have a safe, Christian-based space to belong while at school and church. And I have a few Bible verses for that on friendship. Proverbs 15:22 states, "Without counsel, plans go awry, but in the multitude of counselors, they are established." Proverbs 27:17 states, "As iron sharpens iron, so a man sharpens the countenance of his friend." And Ecclesiastes 4:9-12, "Two are better than one because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, one will lift up his companion. But woe to him who is alone when he falls, for he has no one to help him up. And a threefold cord is not quickly broken." So friendship is super important, and these groups help those. This trip to Alamosa may change the youth's outlook on their own place in this world, helping them to see they all have a gift to use for good. It may help to find their gifts from God. 1 Peter 4:10 states, "As each one has received a gift, minister it to one another as good stewards of the manifold grace of God," helping them to see that others are as important as themselves. And I'm not criticizing, but we all know teenagers have a little bit of a tendency towards selfishness. Just a wee one. So 1 Corinthians 10:24, "Let no one seek his own, but each one the other's well-being." And this trip really will help them learn that skill. A mission trip may change a person's outlook on life and what priorities to choose in the future. Ephesians 2:10 states, "For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them." That is so beautiful. We are chosen. We are his people. We have a plan. He has a plan for us. So this trip will give the group confidence in sharing God's love by learning how to be open about why we are serving and possibly sharing their own faith. Romans 1:16 states, "For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God to salvation for everyone who believes." The group will also be sharing God's love with the actions of serving and being the hands and feet of Christ. So for those who maybe don't, have the gift of gab, they get to share God's love through hands and feet of Christ. So now for the meat and potatoes, what will they do on this trip? Our group will come alongside existing organizations to meet ongoing needs, including working in gardens to meet food needs, doing home repair projects, and running a kids club in the rural community in the San Luis Valley. YouthWorks identifies the greatest need with the local churches. They meet with tribal councils and local government agencies, as well as key community members. They first prioritize the elderly and the housebound, and then the second priority is the impoverished and the disabled. Our group will know where each member will serve only on that Sunday we arrive. YouthWorks has a conversation with us to help the leaders choose based on the strengths of each participant. We may be all together based on numbers, but we may break up in groups with our leaders, based on the needs that the organization of YouthWorks has created. So that is a little scary probably, but actually exciting. So the kids club, I'm sorry, can we go back to the other slide? In the evenings, during the evenings, we're going to learn more from a community speaker about the community. and what they're doing to serve the underserved. And we also have fun activities provided by YouthWorks and worship. So that's really exciting for me and the group. They don't know it yet, but they're going to love it. Okay, the Kids Club. In the Kids Club, the purpose is to demonstrate the love of Jesus to children in the community ages 5 through 10 with story time, playing games, making crafts, reading and singing. YouthWorks will provide the materials for this. The group will play a crucial role in teaching kids about Jesus' love for them and his desire to be loved by them. Our kids are going to be pros because of our Vacation Bible School, and they've been running it already, so this will be easy for them. Students may serve all or part of the week at a food shelf as well, clothing distribution center, soup kitchen, or elderly care facility. So again, it could be a wide range of needs, and it's figured out closer to, as we all know, that's kind of how needs work. You don't really know till closer to, unfortunately. And for fun, that's all the work, but for fun, on Friday, we're gonna go to the Great Sand Dunes at the end of the trip to sandboard or sand sled. I totally had it in my head to have a video for you of this amazingness, but forgot about it. So just Google it, how fun that is. We're gonna rent the sand gear up there, so you don't have to worry about having it ahead of time or anything, but that'll be a very fun day, and then we'll come home that evening. The itinerary for the kids, if in your bulletin, you have it, because this is very hard to read. The one that is handed out to you is actually a more detailed look at the itinerary, but this is a broad one that's up on the screen. So basically, in the crack of dawn, we get in on Sunday, so it's a Sunday to Friday trip. We get in on Sunday in the evening and kind of meet and greet everyone, and then have a chapel time, and then lights out. And then Monday through Thursday at 6:45, wake up. So if you notice, it says breakfast crew in the kitchen. So how that works with the meals is that they do give the kids responsibilities to cook breakfast and dinner. And so that is split up, and it'll be easy, don't even worry. And then everyone makes their own lunch to take with them on the field. So they all get a turn to make the food. And so the breakfast crew those days have to wake up earlier than the rest of the crew. Then they just kind of tidy up everything, have a devotional time, and decide where they're going for sites, and then go from 9 to 3:30. And then it's back for showers, snack, the adult leaders, we have a meeting, and then dinner, evening activity and snack again, and another fun gathering, and then they prepare for bed. And it says lights out 11:15. I do not know if I'm gonna make it that long. That's gonna be rough. But then Friday is the last day. We wake up at 6:30 and we're out by 9, and then go to the sand dunes. So that's just a basic look. And then on the meal plan, it's a pretty basic meal plan, nothing advanced for food. They do have gluten-free options available for your future. They're more sensitive to allergies. We have to just let them know. From just working with our teens, I know we don't have an issue at this time, but just let us know. And then this is hard to read. Whoever wants to go, you can find this online, or closer to the trip, I will be giving we'll be having a parent meeting, and I will be providing all this information in detail. Okay, so the safety of this trip. So we have a strong group of leaders to begin with. If everyone doesn't know, Donald and Susie have agreed to be sponsors for the trip, and then Bob and myself. So I wanted to let you all know all parents are welcome as well. Any parent who wants to attend, please sign up. We'd love that. YouthWorks cancels trip if they feel the community is unsafe. They know the community, work well with the organizations, so they would know if it's unsafe. YouthWorks practices the rules of 3, so everywhere our students go, they have to go in a group of 3 with one of our leaders. The work ends before dark. And it's an intense application process for their staff. And then everyone is background checked, all the leaders that go on the trip. So from the other organizations and our leaders are background checked. I'll get you that paperwork. We are responsible for our own transportation, and this is a blessing because we're going to be driving our kids around. They're not going to go in a stranger's car or anything, okay? Housing. So it's secured housing in either local churches, a school, or a community center with showers available. And unfortunately, specifics on this won't be known till closer to April. Our group sleeps in the same place, boys separate from girls, and this includes the leaders. You guys are learning a lot today that I haven't told you. We are responsible to bring our own twin mattress or pad, sleeping bag, and pillow. And they did say it had to be a twin, probably because of space. So, cost. So unfortunately, it is a little pricey, about the same cost of going to camp. It's $450 per person, plus each family's choice of spending money. This includes meals, lodging, materials for the service projects and the kids club, evening activities, and it includes the Great Sand Dunes with rentals and gas to and from. The fundraising that's going to be done, hopefully we'll cover that cost completely. So the first one we're going to do, if you want to look in the brochure there, is the Meals for Harvest. We're going to do that in October. I know people are already starting corn harvest, so hopefully we're not too late on this, but I was told that maybe harvest goes through November. So preparation for this will be October 13th for all the kids who want to join or anyone who wants to come help cook at the Foreman's house at 2 p.m. And then the deadline for pre-orders is going to be October 9th because that way we don't buy too much food or too little food. So these you'll see around town, and you see them in your brochures, and my phone number is on the bottom there for ordering. And we're just offering chicken pot pie, beef enchilada casserole, and lasagna. And if anyone is interested in donating ground beef, that would be very helpful for lowering the cost of the food for us to look. Already a volunteer. Tara's volunteered. Thank you, Tara. We'll need probably, it depends on pre-orders, how much we'll need, we'll talk. So the other thing we're going to do is a dinner auction in February, March, the dates to be announced on that. And then the Crystal's Easter extravaganza with the youth pack, where she's going to organize a Easter egg hunt, and we're going to have that for the Manna Pantry and for a free will donation for the mission trip. If that doesn't seem to be enough to cover by spring, then we'll organize another fundraiser. So just so you know, that is a possibility. Also during the fundraising times, we'll hold meetings to spiritually and emotionally prepare the participants for the trip. And we're following a YouthWorks curriculum for that. And then leaders, we also have about 3 meetings throughout the year to help us prepare for the trip. Easy, no time at all. All right, so the deadline. Unfortunately, this is because of YouthWorks. We did pick the busiest week, and that's because of our Idalia schedule. So we kind of followed when all the camps were and when all the everything in the summer was fair. And the date we picked, the 12th through the 13th, worked good for everyone for harvest and everything. So unfortunately, it is the busiest week, and so already spots have gone quickly out of YouthWorks. So we had to up the deadline. So it's going to be October 9th, and it's just to kind of, I'm committed, it's a $50 deposit. It's non-refundable, meaning that if you decide to not go on the trip, you won't get that $50 back. But with the amount of fundraising we're going to do, you'll probably see that money back by the end of the deal. So I realize that's hard, but it's just like a good commitment. So that's that. And checks are going to be, please turn it to me just because I'm handling the sign up and the organization of that, but checks are payable to St. John Church. And the beauty of this is more can join later if they decide. So the spots are not guaranteed, so once this initial sign up is good, and then we can't guarantee that YouthWorks will still have a spot for whoever decides to join later, but you can join anytime, even right up to the last minute, as long as there's a spot. We did kind of put a caveat in there that you'll just have to personally cover the cost of whatever money was raised in fundraising that you did not participate in. So there may be participants that just come and help us, and great, they're part of the money that's given, but we don't want them to get the money if they haven't participated in the fundraising. But I'm sure that won't be a problem. So, because I know there's lots of people who do have to wait till later to sign up. So we definitely wanted to make this open for them. All right, so now for the incentives. The first to hand me a check and gets to pick where they eat for the road trip dinner. The second gets to pick where we eat on the way home. The third gets to pick their seat in the car on the way there. The fourth gets to second seat pick on the way there. The fifth gets to pick their seat on the way home. And the sixth gets to the second pick seat on the way home. The seventh gets the first pick of their sleeping spot. So those are your incentives. So I just want to end with another Bible verse, Matthew 9:37 through 38. The harvest truly is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Therefore, pray the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into his harvest.